Welcome to Girl Gotta Glue. I'm Beth, and today we're going through my second Garbougie. This is Lips. I didn't really have a name for it, so we're just calling it Lips the Garbougie. This was actually one of those really thin planners from Dollar Tree. It was sitting in my shelf for like 3 years. I needed to get something in it and get it used up, so it was already floral, but I added some, of course I added the lips, and then I added a little bit of leaves here, and then it just says junk journal, but I call it Garbougie now. A couple of bling, pink embellishments, and then back here just some more, I added the, I think that's, yeah, flowers. Over top of these flowers, some more, yeah, just some more leaves, and it just says colorful. It's not very big. It's one of the smaller ones. This is how I plan to do my Garbougies from now on. More smaller and simple. So let's go ahead and flip through. With Garbougies, I basically use garbage, trash, leftover images, anything that I wouldn't normally use in my regular collage journals. You can kind of see a difference in what I use. It's just like leftover stuff. I think this came from a toy package. That came from a kid's magazine. The whole thing was a magazine. Cut out the whole background here, but I couldn't think of anything. It was cute. I didn't want to throw it away, and I had the kitty right there, so I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. So here is more typically like people that like junk journal, trashy junk journal stuff. I used real junk. I used this was a part of a recipe book, and this came off of some egg noodles. I think it was Amish egg noodles, and this came from like I think it was like pizza rolls or something. And this lemon is part of one of those magnetic notepad sheets. This fabric, this is like fabric right here. And this came off of one of those old 80s, like thin fabric calendars. I had cut it up and used it. That was part of a kid's book. I really liked this page because it's like more of my theme, colorful and crazy. I had these ladies, but I couldn't really think of anything to do with them, so I just kind of put them in here, all things colorful. And then I had that part of a bubblegum wrapper, and I wanted to do something, so this is what we did. Some duct tape, leftover magazine images, and of course some kids book here, because that's Alf. He's like, it looks like he's eating popcorn and staring at those sexy aliens. So yeah, I thought it was funny. That was just leftover kids stickers. These little, it's like Eiffel Tower, a car, and then part of a van right here. This was pieces of a file folder that I had bought from Dollar Tree. It was like cardboard, but it wasn't that thick. I mean, it was thick, but it wasn't sturdy enough to hold some of my stuff, so I went ahead and just cut out all the little images and used them elsewhere. This page I really liked. I was using up some of my older stickers that I didn't need, and it just came out really nice. The best thing about this page is the newspaper background is from 1936. We actually found this newspaper piece in my husband's grandmother's dresser. She had passed away, and before she had passed, she gave us a bunch of stuff in her house, and one of those things was this older dresser. She gave us the dresser because we needed a new dresser, and the top is like there's two sides, and they're like locking. They're locking drawers. Anyway, one of the things about the drawer was you could never get it unlocked. So one of the first things we did when we moved it in here was we were able to get the top drawers open. There wasn't really anything of like, you know, money value, but there was this piece of paper, a newspaper from 1936, and then there was like an old eyeglasses and some old matchbook things, and yeah, that's just basically what it was. So I didn't want to throw the paper away, so I just glued it in here with this, and this is from a Reminisce magazine. The back of your car looks so good, and he's like, oh, so yeah, that was just, I thought that was so neat how old this paper was, but you can kind of tell because it's starting to break. It's so brittle that I had to tape it down. Like here's pieces here that were coming up, and I had to tape it down. I think these little hands are from a pizza box. I thought these ladies were cool. Kind of give it like a dance page. So yeah, this was duct tape. Leftover duct tape that somebody sent me in a friend mail a long time ago. Leftover stickers. I think that was like part of a pasta box or something. They're just dancing. I loved how they were kind of tinted, this like blue or aqua. I loved it, so I kept them. I didn't know what to do with them, but I did keep them because I just loved how they were tinted in this like blue aqua type of light. This was made from the Tattooed by Inky. You can buy these at Big Lots. This is one of my favorite perfumes. For some reason, I can only get it around Christmas time. But I went ahead and used the box. So you can kind of just, it folds out like this. I could have did something to the back, but I just loved this part so much I left it as is. And that says, turn that frown upside down. Leftover magazine. This came from something. I think it was a tag from an orange bag. You know, oranges that you buy. Produce. So yeah, I just couldn't bring myself to throw this away. So I had to put it in here. It looks amazing that way. This is another set of fun pages. Kind of like sci-fi, like the other pages. And these little aliens just say, Roswell, they answered in unison. That wasn't us. So yeah. I think what stemmed this page specifically was these this dog and his little friend. So cute. I could have saved him for my other journal, but I have two images of him. So I just, and the Jurassic thing I just kind of threw in here because it fit the color. And then that little bunny next to that. It's a robot dog. Make sure I don't skip any pages. I don't think I did. Nope, not yet. Some more crazy, colorful, exaggerated pages. I used a whole bunch of leftover children's book stuff that I had. When my son ruins a book, or I get a hold of really cheap books around here, you can get just about any book you want for 10 cents at the Salvation Army. They're always running a deal on kids' books, and depending on what the book looks like, not so much. I don't go for like the real kiddie stuff as much anymore, unless it's like 1980s, 1990s, early stuff like that. But otherwise, I won't pick them up so much anymore. But sometimes I just can't help it because it's so cute. Like I think they're called Monchichis or something. I'm not sure of the name, but I I used to have those little keychains, Mon Chi Chi keychains, where they kind of clasp in your hand to stuff. And I had one that was Alf too. I think they're called Mon Chi Chis. So it's just like a whole bunch of stuff here. This was packaging from one of those kids squishies. And yeah, just a whole lot of stuff mixed in together. Got some Rugrats back here. Their parents having a picnic. I think I had cut the Rugrats out because I was saving them. I love the Rugrats. Anyway, I cut them out, and then I had their parents left over in the picnic. And I'm like, oh, I can't just throw away their parents. So I saved it. And then I have some packaging here. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's like right there is little emojis that came from, I think that was a Band-Aid box from Dollar Tree. I'm not sure, but yeah. These 2 pages are the simplest pages in the whole book. I didn't want to do anything to it. I just liked the way it looked as is. It's an ant city. Yeah, in the magazine, it's just an ant city. I kept it. Thought it was neat. Another set of pages that kind of, it's almost the same as it's almost the same theme as this. Just a little bit different, and there are the Rugrats right here. I love the Rugrats. And it says Stay Gold, and you just open it out like this. Camera ready. This was part of a flyer for something. Came in a magazine, and then I added all this crazy stuff. So yeah. And then we turn, and it's completely a different type of color, which is black and gray. I kind of like to stick with the color theme. It works best for me. And there's some more chocolate cookies. You can find one of the logos in my in Fubsy, which is the other Garbougie I made. You can find the pumpkin decadent chunk cookies in that one, but this is the chocolate one. I did eat these because yeah. And this came out. A lot of these came out. This came out of a magazine. And then this was part of an invitation to something. This came out of a completely different book, and so did this. And I thought it was cute when she's like sitting there giving the look like, hurry up and start the show. And then something happens and she's, oh my God. I don't know what I was thinking. So this page, oh, I'm just like, oh, it brings me relief when I get things used up. I saved this. This Love is in the Air. I've had this since the 2nd year of my first YouTube channel because I had gotten it for like some kind of Valentine's Day chocolate sample giveaway thing. I don't know what it was. It was a sample of something, and they sent this with it as like part of the flyer. And it was just as soon as I started saving stuff for my junk journals and collages and whatever you want to call it. And this was one of the first things I had saved that I thought was really, really nice, but I never ended up using it, and it just sat and sat and sat. And when I look at it now, I'm like, oh gosh, I really did use it. I really did. And then this was part of an old Valentine, so it kind of just like Valentine. That was part of a kid's book. That was part of a calendar. This was actually, this flower here was part of the packaging from, I think, in my friend mail, Jen, a while back, like at least a year or two ago, she had sent me a friend mail. And one of the friend mails was, inside of it was, I think it was like a rose or a flower or something. It was a stencil, but on top of it was the stencil, but it was like the package. So I just kept that packaging and kept that. So yeah, I keep lots of stuff. Getting it used up is another story, because this is the heart. You know those Valentine's hearts that you get at Walmart? You can get them little or big. You know the heart that comes in to kind of cover the chocolates when you open it? This is part of one of those mini chocolate cover things from Dollar Tree when you get those little tiny dollar heart things, and you open it up and there's that little tiny heart that's covering the chocolate. That's one of them. So yeah, I'd say of lots and lots of different weird stuff. It all comes out together in the end, though, don't you think? This might be my favorite, I think. Well, maybe not. It's one of my favorite pages in the book. I just think it's so cute. There's that Screaming Sicilian Pizza logo that I kept. It was a pretty good pizza. Magazine. Leftover images, pictures from kids' books. Yeah. Some more colorful pages. This was from last year, June, July, August. So, like, this is probably when I started making it, because I had finished Fubsy. Well, I didn't really finish it. I got bored of it and I stopped. And I made this book. And then I went back to... Oh, it's a giant Culligan truck barreling up my hill there to somebody else's house. Thank you, Culligan man. Okay. Anyway, this kind of gives you a timeline of when I started working on it. It was last year, June, July, August, and I finished it, and then I went back to Fubsy and finished up most of that. So yeah, so now I got Fubsy, I got lips. I'm getting it worked out. So here we go. I think this is just mostly magazine, but I can't really remember. This came from a kids meal, part of a kids meal thing. And then, oh, I really love these pages too. And it kind of flips out. This flips out. This was a thank you card from an order. Back in my other channel, one of the things I did was I ordered wax melts. I don't really do that anymore. What I mean by I don't order anything anymore. Well, I did if I could, but at this moment I can't really order anything. I still have a bunch of wax that I'm melting on, so I still melt wax and stuff. I just don't order anything because I have way too much as it is. So I'm trying to get through everything. I mean, I would order again when I don't have any. But at this point, I've ordered so much already, and then I bought some from Walmart, and I still have some candles, so it's just not something I'm doing at the moment. You know when you buy something that you're into for, like, you're into books, or you're into candles, or you're into makeup or whatever, and you buy so much of it, and then you're like, oh crap, I can't buy anymore until I use up some of the stuff. That's like how I am with wax right now. I still enjoy it, I'm just not buying any. This was part of a butterfly card, and this was, if you recognize this logo, then yeah, you know. This is the New York Bakery garlic bread. Yeah, we eat garlic bread. Not all the time, but you know, we like carbs. And then I really liked this little mushroom guy here, but it was just his head, and I couldn't think of anything else. I mean, if he would have had his whole body, I would have saved him for my other book, but yeah. I love these pages. Some more colorful pages, because that's like my favorite theme, I guess. If it ain't colorful, go home. That's how I feel. Everybody has that, you know, saying, you know, go big or go home. I don't do that. I'm like, go colorful, go home. Because if it ain't colorful and fun vibe, I don't want to do it. So let's start with the shallots. My husband loves to buy these Frida's shallots from the store. And then I saved the package logo because it's pink and purple and I'm crazy. And then over top of it, I put another logo which says Memories Forever. I don't remember what that logo is from. These are part of Dollar Tree stickers. I didn't know what to do with them, so I put them right here. Hey Dude, I think that was from something, some kind of packaging. I don't remember. I really wish I could remember. exactly. I mean, I remember most things, but... And this was part of a card stock here. Not the card stock itself. It was the front cover. You know how in front covers when you buy a cardstock pad, it shows you like the different little samples of what's going to be. That was part of that. And it just says, the best part of getting to share your creation, and if it doesn't come out quite right, it's okay. Sprinkle love on it, on something anyway. Sprinkle love on something anyway. So yeah, there's that. Hope you guys can see all this and it isn't too bright or nothing. It's hard to get the lighting just right. I don't have the fancy equipment. I just have the sun, my window, and this light over here, and it is what it is. I love these pages too. It's just like this, that's like 80s vibe kinda with this radio. It's just like, yeah. And this came from a t-shirt tag, Just Be. So yeah, as he drifted to sleep, could almost hear her. I think this guy came from one of those Playboy magazines that I accidentally stumbled across when okay, so here's the story, but I don't want to offend anybody, but here's the story. I bought, well, I didn't buy, this lady who sells things on Facebook. She had come upon this box of old automobile magazines. She didn't want to go through the trouble of selling all of them, so she gave me 2 boxes for free. Without going through them, I might add. And when I got to the bottom, well, okay, first I went through a couple of them, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, like the third one down, there was a Playboy centerfold in the middle of the car, a book or magazine, and I'm like, okay, well, surprise. And then I'm thinking, okay, so obviously this is in here, so that means that there's probably going to be Playboys in here. Okay, there was like 2 or 3 Playboys at the bottom of the book, and they were from the 80s, and yes, I went through them late at night by myself. Nobody was with me. I wore a hazmat suit and I went through it. Okay, that's a lie. I didn't wear a hazmat suit, but I did go through the magazines. I did wash my hands. This was a couple years ago, and that was the story. It's such a funny story. Anyway, you'd be surprised at how like awesome the pictures are in those old 80s Playboy magazines. Aside from the nudity and stuff, they had some really cool images, and this was like one of the images, and I think the radio was too. So like, yeah, I saved it like this. This is so 80s. Yeah, so I didn't save anything bad. I just saved the cool stuff like this. I tossed the rest, burnt the box, all that stuff. Anyway, they're way gone now. But that is where some of these images come from. So if you don't know, like, if you're not sure, where did you get this or where did you get that? Chances are, if it's really unique looking, I probably got it from one of those dirty magazines. But don't tell anybody that I told you that, okay? It's just going to be between me and you, all right? I'm kidding. Anyway, well, I'm not kidding about the magazines. That really did happen. But between you and me, yeah, you get it. And then these next set of pages, I really loved how this turned out too. Like, this came in a magazine, and I don't know if you can tell, but that is a woman, and she's kind of like looking up at the sun, but she's completely like, she's colored in with trees, and I thought that was so cool. And then I had, these came off of, oh, I don't know if you guys can see this. Freshshire Farms by Aldi's. That was off a green bean package, and then this came off of oranges. So yeah, we don't just eat French bread, garlic bread. We eat fruit and veggie too. Anyway, then this was cute from the farmer's market. This little doggy. That was from a kid's book. Just that little house, and yeah. It's kind of hard to see it because it just, I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it and on camera, looking at the camera and then looking at this, in person you can kind of tell where things are, but on camera it kind of looks blended a lot. So I don't know if it's going to be too hard for you guys to see. Let's see. The elephant was left over from a kid's book, and then this lady was left over from one of those magazines. I can't remember. It's one of those 90s magazines. Be daring, be different, be impractical, be anything that will insert integrity of purpose and imaginative vision against the slaves of the ordinary. This guy was in my very first book that I ever made with collage or junk journal or anything. And then I had went back through that book because I was going to do a flip through, but I actually wanted to add some things and change some pages, which I'm allowed to do that. So that's what I'm doing, and I ended up taking him out of here, out of that book, and I put him in here because he just seemed to fit better. So I put that in here with this page. So he's no longer in my first book. He's in Lips here. Lips the Garbougie. Some more colorful pages that I am obsessed with because I'm a little bit weird. I ended up getting these Hello Kitty cards. It was just like a pack of cards for like 50 cents. And then you flip it open like that. And that was on one of those unicorn poop. That's what they're called. Anyway, you can buy them at Dollar Tree. They're marshmallows. They're rainbow colored. They're shape of like, they're little twisted into little, little poop emoji things, if you will. And they were called unicorn poop, and you could buy them at Dollar Tree. Anyway, my son had a bag or two, and then I saved the little unicorn because it was cute. And then this was this is those popples. I used to have popples. I wish I still had my collection. I had a little collection of popples from the 80s. I wish I still had them. I don't. But if I ever saw them, I would get them. I'm actually currently looking for the Popples glass set from the 80s. There was a glassware set of like 4 or 8 Popples, and I'm still looking for that. I got the Chipmunk set, but I don't have the Popples set. Some Lisa Frank stickers up here, and then it kind of looks like a Lisa Frank page, don't it? But it's not completely. This was some giant rainbow cake that you could get diabetes from. I thought it was pretty. I had to throw it in here, so that's what I did. This did come from a Dunkin' Donuts box. But it's an old box. I haven't had Dunkin' Donuts in over 2 years. So, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, I miss you, donuts. Some leftover stickers that I had from Dollar Tree a long time ago. A little pink poodle here, and then it's like over here. There's some more Popples. This was from, okay, so this was also from one of those calendars, I think. There was like a Popples calendar or something, I think. I don't remember. Pretty sure it was a Popples calendar from Dollar Tree. And then I saved this guy for this book because he was cut off. And this was also from a Lisa Frank calendar. So anything that's like in here probably was cut off from, it was like printed, but it got cut off. So if it's cut off, I'll just throw it in here and that'll be it. These are really, really busy pages. So I apologize if you can't follow what's happening or anything. But I mean, that's how I like it. Layered and busy and colorful. Okay, so the last set of 2 pages is a little, it actually isn't, it's not really that, it's like a way off theme a little bit. It just says personal growth, and I like that lady close up, but yeah, I added this. There was some leaves here, but I went ahead and added another one just to layer it up with a little bug. And then I added a frame it was from a kid's book. And so she's framed with another. There's leaves there, but you can't tell because this big leaf is covering it. And then some more over here. And I added the froggy and the little sticker alligator. So yeah, it just says personal growth, because I feel like if you were able to see my first set of journals and my journals now, they kind of look a little bit different. Like I do much more layering and stuff, and now I'm more focused on what I want to do. And all I want to do is share what I create, share my collages and garbougies and all of my creative ideas. That's all I want to do on YouTube, is just share. I don't want to do anything else. I don't have plans to do anything else. Just sharing. So if you enjoy these type of videos, please subscribe for more. It helps out my channel so much. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my new videos, whether it's magazine harvesting or a quick process page of a collage, or just a flip through of a whole book that I finished. Anyway, thanks for letting me share with you. See ya.